Okay, this will be a lesson on systems of graphing and solving systems by graphing and solving systems by substitution. The idea behind a system is we are looking for where these lines intersect. So if there ever becomes a situation like here where they don't intersect, that answer will be no solution. If it ever is the same line, like you graph or see that it's the same equation, then that solution is infinite. All right, I'm going to show you how to do this in the calculator, okay, and by hand. You have to be able to do both, okay? Now real quick, if you look over here, if you see that these two are the same, we automatically know that that's an infinite solution, okay? All right? Now, for this one, what I want to do is make sure it's in y equals. I want to start with 3. I go 3 up, so I start with the y-intercept. That's the first thing I want to do, start with the y-intercept. Then I want to use the slope. Negative 2 as a fraction would be negative 2 over 1, which means 2 down, 1 right. So from here, 2 down, 1 right, 2 down, 1 right, 2 down, 1 right. Okay, I want to make a bunch of different points because I want to give myself some possibility of those intersecting. Now, here I would start with a y-intercept of negative 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now the number in front of x here is 1, so my slope is 1, or as a fraction will be 1 over 1. So that means 1 up, 1 right. So 1 up, 1 right, 1 up, 1 right, 1 up, 1 right. Okay, now sometimes it will be something that you can clearly see, like it will be on one of these. Sometimes you'll have to estimate it, and I'll show you the calculator. So that's like negative 2.5, positive 2.5 about negative 2 would be the answer. Now let me show you how you do that in the calculator. If you go to menu and you go to graph, you could graph both of these. Negative 2x, so I type in negative 2, alpha x plus 3, and then alpha x minus 5, draw, and then I hit G solve, which is right here, F5, then intersect. So as you can see, that's a pretty good estimate, okay? All right, now this one, I would start at negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, my slope is negative 2, so that's negative 2 over 1, which means 2 down, 1 right, so 2 more down, 1 right. If I keep this going the other way, I just go the opposite amount. Okay, it would look like this. This one would start at 3, 1, 2, 3. Same slope, negative 2 over 1, so 2 down, 1 right. So 1, 2 down, right, 1, 2 down, right. Now as you can see, these will not intersect, so that's going to be no solution. Okay? All right, so this one's already in y equals. This one I need to get into y equals. So I would subtract the 2x. Don't let them fool you there. Okay, so that's 3y equals negative 2x plus 9. And I would divide each part by 3. So that's going to be y equals negative 2x over 3 plus 3. So I would start 1, 2, 3. This means 2 down, 3 right. So 1, 2 down, 1, 2, 3 right. 2 down, 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's my line. This one, I would start at negative 2. Okay, now my slope here is 1, 1 over 1, so 1 up, 1 right. So 1 up, 1 right, 1 up, 1 right, 1 up, 1 right. And this is nice because it actually meets at one of those points. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. That's going to be 3, 1, so I can write it like that, or I can write it like this. Let me show you how that would work in the calculator. Okay, so what I would do is I would put in alpha x minus 2. I would put in parentheses, negative 2 divided by 3, close them, then put my x, then put my plus 3. If you draw that, G solve, intersect, you'll see that that same answer. All right, so you have to be able to do both. You can't just, you'll have to be able to graph by hand and use the calculator. Okay, now this one, I would subtract 6x, subtract 6x. So that's going to be 3y equals negative 6x minus 9. And I would divide both of these parts by 3. And that's going to be y equals negative 2x minus 3. And as you can see, same. So that's going to be an infinite solution. Okay? Make sure we're still good on the video. We are. Fantastic. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to do a couple of more examples. I'm gonna do these 3 here for you, then you should be good from there. Now, this one is already fine. This one I need to get into y equals, okay? So let's walk through how you do this. First of all, there is a -1 here. So I would subtract 2x, subtract 2x. So I got -1y equals -2x plus 1, and I would divide both parts by -1. So -2 divided by -1 would be 2. 1 divided by that, so I got that there. Okay, so I'd start at -1. 2 over 1 means 2 up, 1 right. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Okay. Then I got 1, 2, -3. Okay, and then this would intersect right like that. Okay, so that would be -1, 1, 2. So that's going to be -1, -3 for my answer. Once again, I can type in the y equals ones. Okay, so y equals -3 was the first one. Alpha, or 2, alpha x minus 1. I draw that. G solve intersect, and as you can see, that gives me my answer. Okay? Now, as you can see, this is x equals 1. I'm not going to be able to graph this in the calculator. I can only graph this by hand. So what I have to do is I just have to subtract 2x, subtract 2x. Okay? So I'm going to get y equals -2x plus 4. Okay? So I would start, here's the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. -2 over 1, so 2 down, 1 right. So 2 down, 1 right, 2 down, 1 right, 2 down, 1 right. Okay? X equals 1 would be right here. So that's going to intersect at 1, 2, or x equals 1 and y equals 2. Okay? Let me do one more here for you guys. Okay? Let me do one more for you guys. I'm going to do number 9 to finish out. The other ones you can sort of see as you go. Okay, so I'm gonna rewrite this just so I have enough room. There's a 1 here, so I would subtract 1x. I would subtract 1x. I have 3y equals -1x plus 3, and I would divide both parts by 3. So my first equation is -1/3 x plus 1. Okay? Oh my gosh, I made a mistake there. Hold on. Hold on. This should have stayed -3. Divided by 3, I got -1. Sorry. Okay? Now I'm going to rewrite this one. That's 1x, so I'm going to subtract the 1x, subtract the 1x. -3y equals -1x minus 3. Divide by -3. So that's going to be y equals 1/3 x plus 1. Okay? All right? Yes. Okay? So what I would do, okay, this one I would start at -1 down. So that's 1 down, 1, 2, 3 right. Okay, I'll go the other way. 1 up, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, this other one, I'm going to start at 1. This is going to be 1 up, 1, 2, 3. Down, 1, 2, and 2, and 3. Okay, so my intersection here is 1, 2, -3, 0, or x equals -3, y equals 0. Okay, and I can put that into the calculator. Okay, so what I would do is parentheses, -1 divided by 3, alpha x, okay, minus 1, and then I got parentheses 1 divided by 3, alpha x plus 1. If you draw, G solve intersect, you will see both of those answers. So that would be the graphing part. Okay, now we're going to move on to solve by substitution. Okay. All right. Okay, now solve by substitution is going to be slightly different. Okay, it's going to be slightly different. Let me start you with this example. All right, x equals -2y. Okay. Plus 6, and then 3x minus 4y equals 28. Okay, So what we're going to do, the reason why we use solve by substitution. Okay, one of the letters is by itself. So this is the letter we're going to substitute for. So I am going to take this and put it into this equation. Okay, so what's going to happen is the 3 parentheses negative 2x plus 6. I still have a minus 4y equals 28. Okay, I take this number and I distribute it. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6x. 3 times 6 is 18. Minus 4y equals 28. Now, what you have to be careful of, because these are on the same side, we got to combine the like terms. So, I got negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10. So negative 10x plus 18 equals 28. And now I'm going to solve for x. Negative 10x equals 10. Divided by negative 10. X equals negative 1. Now, we know that we have to have a solution for x and for y. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I already know that one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this number, boom, put it back in here for y. So I have negative 2, parentheses, negative 1, plus 6. So I just substitute that back in and I get 8. So that would be my other answer. Okay? All right? Let's do another one. 4x plus 5y equals 11. Y equals 3x minus 13. Now in this case, I want to substitute y for y. So I got 4x plus 5 times. I'm going to put 3x minus 13. So I basically take this and put it in for y. So I'm going to distribute. Still have 4x. 5 times 3x is 15x. 5 times negative 13 is negative 65. Equals 1. Okay? These will combine here. Okay? These will combine here. Let me make sure that's right. I think that's right. Yeah. Okay. 5 times 5 is 13. 5 times that, negative 65. Let's double check that math. I think that's right. Yes. Okay. So my like terms here are 4 and 15. So that's 19x minus 65 equals 1. I add 65 to this side. So I got 19x equals 66. Divide by 19. I got x equals, okay, got x equals 66 divided by 19, okay, ends up being a crazy decimal here, okay, so I want to use the fraction, 66 over 19. So x is 66 over 19. So then all I would do is I'd take that, okay, I would take that and put it right into here to find out the y. Okay, so 3 times 66 divided by 19. Okay, minus 13. All right, and as a fraction, that's negative 49 over 19. So sometimes you could have decimals. Okay, sometimes you could have decimals. All right, let's do another example here. Okay, let's do this one. X equals y minus 7. X plus 8y equals 2. Now, as you can see, I want to substitute this in for x. So I'm going to put a 1 here because that's going to help me. 1 times y minus 7 plus 8y equals 2. So I take this 1 and distribute it. So that's 1y minus 7 plus 8y equals 2. All right, the y's would combine. 1y and 8y would be 9y. Add 7, 9y equals 9. Divide by 9, y equals 1. So once again, I got a y answer and I have an x answer. So all I'm going to do is take that 1, put that 1 right back in there. So 1 minus 7. So all I'm doing is replacing that. It's negative 6. So that would be my other answer. Okay? All right, let's do another one here. Let's go y equals 4x minus 6, x minus y let's see, say 3. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now, what I want to be careful of, there is a negative 1 here in front of y, so I'm going to take this and put this in here. So I got 1x minus 1 times 4x minus 6 equals 3. So I'm going to take this and distribute it. So I got 1x minus 4x, negative 1 times negative 6 would be positive 6. Okay, this would combine, one would be negative 3x plus 6 equals 3. Okay, subtract 6 on both sides, negative 3x equals negative 3, divide by negative 3, x equals 1. So I take this 1 and put that right back into there. Okay, I got 4 times 1 minus 6 is negative 2. So I just put this number right back into there. Okay, for that, and just type that side in. So that's another example. Now, if you ever run into a situation where, let's say you were doing a substitution, and let's say you ended up with 0x. If you had, like, let's say 14 and negative 2, let's say you had 0x and 7 and 7. If you remember this from our solving equations, when these are different, that will be no solution. When these are the same, these will be infinite solutions. So you could run into that situation at some point. Okay? So basically you'll have the guided steps for this. But basically what you're doing, okay, what you're doing, whichever letter is by yourself, the other part is going in for that letter. So that's going in for that. You want to distribute that, okay, negative 1 times 4x, all right? Then you combine the like terms, okay, solve for your variable. Once you got that, put it back into where you started from. This should be a simple calculation that you should be able to do in your calculator. You'll now get your practice materials. Practice that and you should be fine.